Hello, my name is Gloria. Today we shall be looking at the topic pollution. Objectives of lesson. By the end of the lesson, students should be able to 1. Define pollution. 2. Define pollutants. 3. Mention the types of pollution. 4. List examples of environmental pollutants for each type of pollution. And 5. State the effects and controls of environmental pollution based on each type. Now, what is pollution? Pollution is defined as the release of toxic or harmful chemicals or substances into the environment in such a level that it can cause harm or biological damage to man and its resources. Resources here can mean any useful materials to man, such as plants, animals, and so on. The environment where the harmful materials can be deposited into can include water bodies, land, and atmosphere, commonly known as air. The harmful substances that cause pollution in the environment are called pollutants. In another word, we can define pollutant as those toxic or harmful chemicals or substances released into the environment that can cause biological damage or harm to man and his resources. Types of pollution. The main types of pollution are air pollution, water pollution, land or soil pollution, and noise pollution. We shall be discussing the types of pollution one after the other, and we are going to start with air pollution. Now, this is the addition of harmful substances into the atmosphere, which can become harmful to man, his livestock, plants, and other resources. Air pollutants can include smoke and soot, dust, chlorofluorocarbon, sulfur oxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, and so on. These air pollutants can be gotten from different sources, such as from car exhaust, from industrial plants, from generators used in homes, from burning of refuse and bushes, and of course burning of fuel of any type. White dust can be gotten from construction sites, cement industries, quarries, and the rest. Now, effects of air pollutants. 1. Dust, fog, and smoke can reduce visibility. This you can see in the first image here. 2. Smokes and soot particles can damage the lungs if they are inhaled and cause discomfort, which can as well cause respiratory diseases. Carbon monoxide can lead to suffocation. This is because the carbon monoxide can replace oxygen needed for respiration, and if care is not taken, it can lead to death. Radioactive rays can impair health by causing a change in the genetic composition known as mutation, or it can destroy genes. Now, 5. Nitrogen oxide and sulfur oxide can combine with rainwater in the atmosphere to form acid rain. Now, acid rain are very corrosive, so they can corrode metals and starches. Not only that, nitrogen oxide, sulfur oxide can affect the lining of the eyes, the lining of the lungs, and sometimes they can cause cancer. Control of air pollution. A. Laws should be made against indiscriminate burning of refuse. B. Industry should be sited far away from residential areas so that people don't get to inhale the gases or smoke released from their plants. C. Legislations or laws should be made against illegal burning that can cause air pollution. D. Public awareness of the effect of air pollution should be given to the people. This can be given in form of seminars, talks, campaigns, and the rest. E. Filters or absorbers should be worn or installed around mining industries. Then F. Lead-free petrol should be used in cars. This will cause lesser fume to be released from car exhaust. Next, we shall be looking at land or soil pollution. This is the dumping of chemical or harmful substances on land, thereby contaminating the soil and making it harmful to plants and animals. Now, land pollutants can include refuse. Refuse are solid waste from homes, factories, schools, markets, and so on. Now, sewage. Sewage are liquid waste from city sewage system and from human waste. That means feces and urine are examples of sewage. Metal scrap is an example of land pollutant. Pesticides and fertilizers from agricultural sector is another example. Glass particles, broken bottles, and so on are also examples of land pollutants. And the last one here is crude oil. Now, these are some images showing pollutants on land, or ways by which land can be polluted. Effects of land pollution. 1. Refuse provides a breeding ground for insects and other animal pests. Now, some of these insects and pests, they are vectors. They can transmit microorganisms that causes diseases. Not only that, heap of this refuse can produce very offensive or bad odor. 2. Broken glasses and metal scraps can cause serious injuries when stepped upon or handled carelessly. 3. Pesticides and fertilizers used in the agricultural industry can kill useful insects and microorganisms that live in the soil. 4. Sewage can cause soil-borne diseases and also produce stinking odor. 5. Abandoned vehicles parked somewhere on the road can occupy useful space. And 6. Crude oil can blacken soil and make it infertile for cultivation. Here is an image showing a very highly polluted land. Alright, this land is not good for planting of crops. It cannot support their existence or their growth. So, control of land pollution. A. Government should make laws against indiscriminate dumping of refuse on land. B. Public awareness on the effects of land pollution should be given to the people. C. Glasses, tin cans, and plastic bottles can also be recycled. Recycling is an art of gathering used materials, sorting them, washing them, sterilizing them so that they can be reused again. D. Indiscriminate passing of excreta on land should be discouraged. E. Overuse or indiscriminate use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers should also be discouraged. And the last point but not the least, oil companies should check and maintain their pipelines always in case of any oil spillage. And of course, if there is oil spillage or oil spill, immediate arrangements should be made to clean up affected areas. Alright, now we shall be discussing noise pollution. This is the impairment of the environmental quality of air by noise. And noise is any unpleasant sound that can be so detrimental to man. Now, causes of noise. Airplanes or aeroplanes. 2. Automobiles, that means horns from vehicles. Sounds from loudspeakers, guns and cannon. Railways, noise from generators, thunderstorm, drilling machine. All these are causes of noise. Effects of noise pollution. Now, there is a limit to the amount or level of noise that our ear can accept or take. Above this limit, it can be so harmful. One of the effects is that it can lead to partial or total loss of hearing, or it can cause deafness. It can lead to insomnia, which is lack of sleep. It can also cause high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. It can lead to lack of concentration. It can cause anxiety and fright. It can cause change in behavior. Yes, some people naturally they are calm, they are reserved, they are not aggressive. But when exposed to noise beyond what they can take, they tend to become aggressive, and that can lead to a change in behavior. Now it can also cause general irritation, tension, and tiredness. These are some of the effects of noise pollution in our environment. Now, control of noise pollution. 1. Laws should be made against the use of loudspeakers in public places. 2. Railways and railway tracks or stations should be sited far away from residential areas so that people around don't get to be disturbed by the noise from the railways or from the trains. Now, use of heavy guns and cannons should be banned. That is number 3. Number 4, soundproof in industry should be installed. And the last one here, which is number 5, earmuffs can be used in factories or industry. Now here is an image of a man drilling and he's wearing his earmuff. I think the man is protected. Alright, let's look at the last type of pollution, and that is water pollution. Water pollution is the release of harmful substances into water bodies like rivers, lakes, oceans, and so on, to the extent that they become harmful to man, his livestock, and other resources. What are those harmful substances? Don't forget, we call them water pollutants. 1, we can have refuse. 2, sewage. 3, industrial or chemical waste. 4, pesticides and fertilizers. 5, crude oil. And the last one, heat. Here are 2 images showing water that is already been polluted. You can see they don't look nice at all. Effects of water pollution. Number 1, refuse and sewage promote pathogens which can cause waterborne diseases such as typhoid, cholera, diarrhea, and the rest. 2, industrial or chemical effluent or waste can kill aquatic organisms that live in water bodies. 3, pesticides and fertilizers, when washed into water bodies from farmland, can lead to what we call eutrophication, and this we shall discuss later. 4, crude oil. The main sources of crude oil spill are from oil drilling sites and during loading and uploading of oil from tankers. It can cause suffocation of aquatic organisms and sometimes can even cause them to migrate from their habitat to another habitat. 5, heat. This can cause thermal pollution. We'll discuss thermal pollution later. Generally, water pollution makes water unfit for use and may produce unpleasant odor or smell. Okay, control of water pollution. Number 1, laws should be made against indiscriminate dumping of sewage and refuse in water bodies. 2, efficient and proper disposal of sewage should be adopted. 3, there should be prevention of oil spillage. 4, public awareness on the effect of water pollution should be given to the people. 5, industrial effluent or waste should be recycled before released into water bodies. And the last point, which is our number 6 here, water purification or treatment process. So how do we purify water that is already contaminated or polluted? Number 1, can purify water by boiling. 2, filtration. 3, addition of chlorine. 4, addition of alum. This kind of method is not fit for drinking water. Why? The alum itself is a chemical. When put in water, it causes the dirt in the water to coagulate at the bottom of such a container where the water is kept, and such water cannot be taken into the body. It's not allowed. Okay, the next one is sedimentation. Then we have 6, distillation, and the last one, number 7, is sterilization. Here are 2 images showing how a polluted water becomes clean water. Okay, let's talk about eutrophication and thermal pollution. Eutrophication is the increase of algae known as algal bloom in lakes due to the release of nitrate and sulfate. The nitrate is from fertilizers in the agricultural sectors, while the sulfate are from industrial waste. Now, this addition of sulfate and increase in algae in the lake can reduce oxygen. That is when the algae begin to die and then they begin to decay. can cause the death of aquatic organism as well, because of the low oxygen in the water. Now you can see the image of a water that is already eutrophicated. Let me use such a word. You can see a lot of algae on the surface. The water is looking so black, dirty, and I believe it's going to be having bad odor. Don't forget, eutrophication is the increase in the amount of algae in stagnant water like lake due to addition of nitrate and sulfate, which can cause a reduction in the oxygen level in such water after the excess algae begin to die and decay, and this can also lead to the death of the aquatic organism, making the water unfit for man's use. Alright, let's talk about thermal pollution. Some industries use water to cool their machines, and later they release the hot water into the water bodies. This increase or change in the temperature of the water can cause death of aquatic organisms. So you can see the second image here showing water being released from an industry to water body, and that's not just water, it's hot water. It changes the temperature of the water body and can cause what you see at the middle, death of aquatic organisms. The fish we could have been eating. Alright, this is the end of our class. We have our student activities, and now all you need to do is take your time, go through the questions. They are all questions based on what we have learned so far. I know you'll be able to answer them. Alright, so just take your time and go through them. Okay, at this time I want to remind you, please subscribe, view my videos, don't forget to download and do any other thing just to promote it. Thank you. Alright, these are the answers to our questions. It's time for you to mark yourself. I want to believe you had 100%. Okay, thanks for joining me in this class today. Thanks for learning. Have a wonderful time.